Welcome to this explainer on cortisol, stress, and the ReCODE protocol for memory loss. So, you know that feeling when you walk into a room and just totally blank on why you're even there? Or when you're struggling to pull a familiar name out of that thick brain fog? Well, you're definitely in the right place. Today, we're unpacking the hidden causes of brain fog, memory loss, and cognitive decline. And honestly, the best part, we're going to look at exactly how the latest science says you can actually reverse them. I mean, it's a terrifying feeling, right? Is your memory actually slipping? Or is something stealing it? When we first start noticing poor focus or those little memory slips, almost all of us immediately blame our age, or maybe genetics. We kind of just shrug and think, well, I'm just getting older, totally normal. But digging into the research, what if your memory isn't just naturally slipping away? What if instead there's this invisible thief at work in your daily routine, literally stealing it from you? Because the source material we're digging into today points to a really fascinating and honestly kind of alarming reality. It's not just age or genetics, it's a hidden daily habit. The real culprit behind that frustrating brain fog isn't just the passing of time, and it's definitely not a predetermined genetic fate. It is an everyday experience, something that happens to almost every single one of us every day, quietly triggering this massive biological cascade that damages the brain. Which brings us to section 1. The invisible memory thief. All right, let's dive into this. So our human bodies, specifically our nervous systems, were completely built for temporary evolutionary stress. Picture this. You're out foraging, suddenly a lion chases you, right? You experience this massive, intense spike in stress hormones, you run, you survive, and then boom, the stress completely disappears. But today, evolutionary stress versus modern stress is a whole different ballgame. Modern stress is the ping of a late-night work email, sitting in gridlock traffic, unending daily chores, financial worry. And here's the kicker. Our brains interpret these modern anxieties with the exact same biological alarm system as the lion. The problem is, the modern lion never actually leaves. It just lives in your inbox. The stress is literally never ending. Moving on to section 2, how cortisol shrinks your brain. The source material points a massive spotlight on one main actor here, cortisol. It's the body's primary stress hormone. Now, in small, temporary bursts, cortisol is absolutely incredible. It wakes you up in the morning, it keeps you sharp, helps you respond to challenges. But the research is crystal clear on this. When cortisol is left on for way too long because of all that chronic modern stress we just talked about, it transforms from this helpful survival tool into a literal neurotoxin. It becomes highly toxic to your brain's neurons when chronically elevated. And the target of this toxicity is actually really specific. We're looking at the impact on the hippocampus. Sustained high cortisol is directly toxic to neurons right in the hippocampus, which is the exact part of your brain responsible for memory formation and emotional regulation. When cortisol just constantly floods this area, it physically shrinks this memory center, shrinks it. It halts the brain's ability to form new neural connections, which is absolutely vital for learning. The direct, noticeable result of this physical shrinkage? Yep, you guessed it, that brain fog, anxiety, and memory loss you might be experiencing. This creates what researchers call a neuroendocrine storm. It's this vicious, step-by-step feed-forward loop. Step 1, you experience chronic stress. Step 2, your body pumps out constantly high cortisol. Step 3, because your body is convinced you're in life or death danger, that cortisol severely disrupts your sleep. You just can't reach deep rest. And finally, step 4, that lack of sleep, combined with the hormone imbalance, triggers massive brain inflammation. This inflammation damages neurons, reduces blood flow, and basically puts cognitive decline on the fast track. Now let's look at section 3, the brain's nightly detox. Enter the glymphatic system. This is a relatively recent, absolutely groundbreaking discovery in neuroscience. Basically, think of the glymphatic system as a brilliant internal cleaning crew for your mind. It's this specialized paravascular plumbing network in the brain that uses cerebrospinal fluid to literally wash away metabolic waste and toxic byproducts from your brain tissue. But here is the catch. This system is almost exclusively active during deep, slow-wave sleep. And check out this incredible data point from the research. 60%. During deep sleep, the brain's interstitial space, which is just the space between your brain cells, actually expands by up to 60%. This massive physical expansion drops resistance and allows this huge cleansing rush of fluid to just flush right through the brain tissue, sweeping away the entire day's waste. So what exactly is the glymphatic system washing away? Well, it clears out lactic acid and excess potassium. But most importantly for our memory, It clears out dangerous neurotoxic proteins, specifically amyloid beta plaques and tau protein tangles. If you follow Alzheimer's research at all, you definitely know those names. They are the pathological hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease and neurodegeneration. And your brain literally has a built-in mechanism to flush them out every single night. So here is the absolute crucial point. High cortisol disrupts deep sleep, trapping these neurotoxins inside your brain. If chronic stress keeps your cortisol levels artificially high, your nervous system stays on high alert. You never hit that restorative, deep, slow-wave sleep, meaning your brain's interstitial spaces never expand, the glymphatic system never turns on, and those dementia-linked neurotoxins like amyloid beta and tau, they are just left trapped inside your head, accumulating night after night, year after year. Let's fix that. Section 4. The ReCODE Protocol Solution. The sources strongly highlight the Bredesen ReCODE protocol. ReCODE actually stands for the reversal of cognitive decline. Unlike conventional approaches that might, just try to slap a Band-Aid on the symptoms, the Bredesen ReCODE protocol targets the absolute root causes of cognitive decline. It goes right to the foundation of the problem, focusing heavily on restoring metabolic and hormonal balance, fixing your sleep architecture, and reeling in those stressed hormones like cortisol. So the protocol breaks down into these highly actionable pillars, basically ReCODE biohacks for brain resilience. First, for adrenal restoration, the strategy involves using adaptogenic herbs and intentional stress reduction to just calm the whole system down. Next, sleep optimization looks at targeted melatonin support and crucial screening for sleep apnea, because sleep apnea literally robs the brain of oxygen. Then, under diet and metabolism, the focus is on low-inflammatory, high-protein meals. This stabilizes your blood sugar so you avoid those nasty stress spikes from hypoglycemia. And finally, mind-body therapy involves guided breathing and vagal tone exercises to pull your nervous system out of that lion-chasing sympathetic overdrive. The ultimate physiological goal of all this is fixing your rhythm. When you're chronically stressed, you get what's called a flattened cortisol curve. Your cortisol is too low in the morning, which gives you that terrible daytime fatigue, and then it's too high at night, causing insomnia and inflammation. The goal of these biohacks is to shift you back to a healthy cortisol rhythm. That's where cortisol naturally peaks in the morning to give you that great energy and focus, and then smoothly drops to its absolute lowest point at night, allowing for that deep, healing glymphatic sleep. Bringing us to our final part, Section 5, Rebuilding Your Brain's Resilience. Based directly on the clinical frameworks in the sources, let's map out your new bedtime routine. This is how you ensure that glymphatic system actually activates tonight. Step 1. Turn off those digital screens 2 to 3 hours before bed to protect your natural melatonin production. Step 2. Stop eating heavy meals at least 2 hours prior to sleep so you keep that blood sugar stable. Step 3. Practice guided breathing to actively lower your sympathetic overdrive, basically telling your body, hey, the lion is gone. And Step 4. Maintain a strict, regular sleep schedule to really lock in that circadian rhythm. I want to leave you with a really reassuring thought directly from the clinical data. The brain is not a static organ. It is highly, highly adaptable. As the source notes, when sleep and stress are restored to balance, the brain begins to rebuild neural pathways through neuroplasticity. That is huge. By fixing your sleep and managing your stress, you aren't just hitting pause on the damage. You are actively creating the perfect environment for your brain to literally rebuild its cognitive resilience. So, having seen the profound impact that just a single night of deep, glymphatic sleep can have on clearing out those Alzheimer's-linked toxins, I have to ask, what will you change about your bedtime routine tonight to save your brain? Seriously, think about it right now. Pick just one step and take action. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, here's to a deeply restful night.